Noman just cleared PMP from Norway, and has been a beautiful journey. It took a little bit time, but that was expected being in Europe, without any doubt. But the most important is he cleared PMP. Shamim was his coach throughout the journey. Numan, this is your journey. Share it in a way you would like.
Yes, sure. Since the start.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I have started actually, I can say accidentally in December 2025.
Mhm.
While saying accidentally, it was because I was just browsing the LinkedIn, and then I see there as a notification of the live PMP marathon, something like
Okay.
this by Amir Ali.
Mhm.
I joined this, and it was a little bit excited for me that to have to be starting this, and that many people they have been in the class and they were solving the problems. Almost 2 hours I spent there, and then this video automatically turned off. And then I sent a message to Mr. Amir that the video is turned off, maybe by mistakenly. But then he told that no, it is by like only the 2 hour time in LinkedIn. Then why you're watching there? Come to the Zoom, and then 2 hours again in a Zoom, and then I feel that okay, this is like a little bit interesting. I can do this PMP. Before that, I think I can openly say this. I do not have any experience about what is the PMP, how we have to be do this, like especially for the certification, and what is using for. Like if I can say this, if I need to be do this or pursue this for further in my career. So this was super excited that I have started in a December. I think only 2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks actually, the 4 or 6 hour extensive classes, late night, and then it was super easy to have to be understand all the processes. Yeah, further generally like the self preparation for the exam, it took a little bit time because I was committed to my study, and then I was very little have a time in the daytimes or in the night. But yeah, after the class, uh, my immediate supervisor, I can say, it's Shamim, who was constantly sending the message. Even he sent the message on the E-day as well, that please tell me your preparation, how is your update. So I was surprised that everything's working perfectly fine, and finally I have cleared this exam with full of support from the Amir Bhai, Madam Shuda, and especially with the Shamim. So
Mm.
thanks everyone
Thank
to
you very
give me
much.
this opportunity
Yeah.
to have to be complete this.
Thank you very much for joining. I would say that because this is one of the most important thing that if you join, only then we can help you for PMP. Okay, let's talk about your exam. How was your exam how was your exam today?
Uh, I have an actually mixed feelings. I can say the exam was easy, medium, and difficult as well. The easy, like starting point, was very easy. The first question was the drag and drop, and then after that, the first section I have completed, I think in 45 or 50 minutes.
Okay.
The second section almost the same. It have a lot of drag and drops. I think 12 or 13 drag and drops have been come, and it was super difficult. But the last part, it was extremely difficult, and the difficult in the sense that even my elimination techniques, they are got surprised that where I need to be apply these techniques,
Mm.
because the answer, it was super confusing, and the terminologies which they have been using, I have not seen like during this preparation. So kind of things that how I have attempt this, it's basically the same things which you have been told, and which Madam Shoda and Shamim, they were like focusing on that how we have to doing the elimination. So if the question was a little bit longer, like 2 or 3 lines, then I'm using the this elimination techniques, and specifically have to finding these specific keywords which have to be like used to give the correct answer. Unfortunately, like one of the section was a little bit below my expectation. It was process. I don't know. I try my best to have to be do this, but rest of two section they are above the target.
Mm.
So finally, yeah, I completed everything's. I think 30 minutes before. So all this exam was finished.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so you created at least that much time. Perfectly fine. How many drag and drop questions were there?
I think 10 to 13. Even that when I was, it was mostly in the last section, like the third section. There have been many of this drag and drop. First section, only one. Second is two. And then the last, I think they have been bombardment, this kind of like drag and drops.
Well, approximately how much?
I think if I can say total 12, almost 12.
Total almost 12. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Shamim, you are his coach. What would you put in the context here?
First
Shamim?
of all, congratulations, Numan. You have
Thank
done
you.
tremendous job. As you told, like your exam was tough. Okay, like a lot of drag and drops were there, but I think you were ready before that because we have a special video for that. Mr. has made that video,
We were
and
just
we have
discussing
shared.
2 minutes back. It is so
Yes,
coincidence. I just before calling
yes,
you, I called Shamim and I told him, why did you give drag and drop like 3 days back? Give it 1 week back, right, Shamim? So here
yes, yes.
now we will say that that's why. That's why I gave it. Right, Shamim? That's what you
Yes,
want.
yes, yes. We were discussing that same thing, and and that's a very beautiful thing because I think most of the question have been covered in that video. Okay, that is the best thing, and congratulations again. You did really tremendous job, and we have lot of zooms. I remember I didn't have done zoom multiple times than you anybody. Like the most zoom calls I did with you. This is the yes. We have the different bond, and I am very happy for you.
Okay, perfectly fine. Okay, so Numan, like you are in Norway, how far the center was?
I think it was near to me. We have three or four centers, so I choose the very near to me, my home.
Hmm. Very near to your home. And how was the center? Was it good? How was the check-in process for you?
Uh, Actually, the center was good, but unfortunately, it was very busy, and I want to be raised the complaint there because uh, when I enter into center and start my exam, there were students actually they were doing I think GMAT or this kind of test, and there was using their keyboard something like in a very extremely like hitting this. Even that I was using the earplugs. Yes, exactly. They were using. I was using the earplugs, but it was very noisy to me. And then I start whispering when the one student have been finished checkup. I thought that okay, thanks God, I now have been silenced room that I will be like completing. But the other students come and he was doing this, and when we start whispering, he complained to the instructor or some like a person that he comes to me and said that you are talking a little bit high. I said, okay. I was like bearing the high noise of the keyboard and not never complained, but you are doing this. So overall, it was good, and I think as compared to the home exam, the center is like a more favorable condition for the PMP because there was you have to be see something like in a comfortable area. Also, sometimes you have been like going outside and like your mind is fresh because in a home you know your places, and the question may be something like if you're doing the break within the home, it's something maybe have been comes up which is little bit difficult. So the center, that's why I chose it for this exam.
Hmm. It's a center which was it into this exam. Which mocks helped you most for your preparation? Read a lot of mocks.
Uh, Yes, I can say that few of the question I have been seeing there, these were exactly which I have been repeating in the mocks, specifically like elite mocks. When I was doing this, some of the questions, for example, even I remember that project manager have joined the company who are making the phone applications, like these kind of context. So these questions, three or four, I can say they were exactly the same things which they have been repeating there.
Hmm.
So rest of them, I think the most of your mocks they are helping to making the mindset, And this is the reason that the same kind of context of question have been coming up in the real exam as well. So these mocks, I can say, not exactly line by line, but at least they are making the context which are making easier for you to have to be solve the question.
Perfectly fine. Shamim, anything else you would like to ask?
No, no, sir. Actually, he has given that tips to all people already.
Thank you, Numan. Numan, first of all, congratulations. I'm gonna ask you to make when you tag me on LinkedIn. But the most important thing is each one teach one is the system here, right? So you cleared PMP, but now we need to help more people. Make 10 question answers. The marathon is exactly combinations of those question answers. Okay, marathon is
Sure.
exactly the combination of those question answers, and I want to make sure that we get this thing in our context. Okay, so make 10 questions for that.